welcome to my channel, Andromeda Starseed Tarot. I have a reading for Leo, Sun, Moon and Rising, July 2023. Keep in mind it's a general reading, so anything that doesn't resonate, leave behind for someone else, and anything that does resonate, you take that in, and yes, we'll see how we go. Interesting reading to start off July, Leo. So your first card is the Tower card. So July is starting off with some big changes. Could be sort of like your belief system being challenged, a sudden shock, bit of chaos in your life, bit of chaos and destruction, beliefs being questioned, just a sudden change. Doesn't mean it's bad, because change is always good for us, and you know, the bad things turn out to be good things, so please don't let that put you off. So it's a card of shock and chaos. The structures and systems you've built in your life are being shook up. Assumptions you've taken for granted and are going to be thrown into question. You are going to be forced to think in brand new ways. This card could indicate a surprising event, such as being laid off, discovering a betrayal, unexpected pregnancy, winning the lottery, or unexpected expenses like home or car repairs. So it's sort of like that kind of thing, like something that's going to pop up that you didn't see coming, and it's going to be a little bit of a shock. Someone could have an emotional outburst in your family, or a friend perhaps, and you didn't see it coming, you didn't have a clue. So this card may just be a reminder to set aside a little bit of money each month, just in case of situations like this. So to have a plan in case of a fire or vehicle breakdown. Think through what would happen in the worst case situation and prepare as much as you can. Now, I don't like to kind of encourage that kind of thinking, like thinking in the worst case scenario and stuff like that, but it is also good to be prepared, you know, have that money in the account in case the car breaks down, or there's a surprising bill that's turned up, like the tax bill or something like that. It is good to be prepared, and this card is telling you it may be a good idea to think about that. So it's telling you to shake up your life. Take a look at your deeply held assumptions. Do they still serve you? Get outside of your normal mode of thinking by taking a trip, getting rid of old belongings, trying something new, or exploring a new philosophy. Drastic changes are required in your life. So the Tower is all about kind of like, it's kind of saying like, are you following kind of old habits or traditions or practices that aren't serving you anymore in your life, sort of thing. So maybe you have built your tower on beliefs that no longer serve you, they hold you back now. You're kind of just thinking about stuff like that, and maybe old habits that aren't serving you anymore, that you thought were quite relevant for you and were beneficial but are actually not. So that's what the Tower's all about. It's all about sort of giving you that shake up that makes you kind of rethink stuff in your life. And so and that's what I mean. It's like, that's why it's not a bad thing. It is a bit of a shock, and they can be difficult moments, the Tower moments, but overall are so beneficial for you. So really, really good. So that's a really exciting start to July for you there, Leo, I promise. So the next card you got, which is good. So coming after this kind of Tower moment and shaking things up for you a bit, you now have the Chariot card, which is really good. So maybe before the Tower card, things weren't moving forward for you very fast in your life, or you were feeling a little bit stationary, a little bit stuck, you know, kind of like not too sure. And then the Chariot comes along after the Tower, and it's all about forward momentum. forward momentum, got your eye on the prize now. You know what it is that you want, and now you can start moving forward, because the Chariot is all about like keeping that momentum, keeping that determination as well, and also that self-discipline, because you got to have self-discipline and motivation to achieve what it is that you want in life. And that's what the Chariot is telling you right now. It's sort of like, come on man, like you got to keep that motivation going, you got to keep that discipline and that self-control. And excuse bless me. Yes, so I'm going to take that sneeze as a yes to what I'm saying. But yeah, so that's what it's all about. Just stay focused on your goal, harness all of your resources to get to where you want to go. Don't get thrown off course by your emotions, or forego short-term gratification for long-term accomplishment. So exactly right, and so don't get emotional, don't get stuck in your emotions, don't react with your emotions, keep that mental stability, and you can go no wrong. You'll keep pushing forward. Coming in later on in the month, we got Strength card. So Strength card reversed. So you may end up going a little bit off course in the middle of the month. So maybe going a bit off course with the Chariot. You've got off course, something may have just kind of been a little bit of a blip, something's kind of halted your progress a little bit, something's come off. So this is what I was saying in the Chariot about not getting emotional and stuff like that. Because when this card appears, it can be trouble with your personal power. So you may feel like your cravings and your urges are driving you later in a month. Like you don't have control over your life. If you have that, it may be that you have an addiction or a habit that you feel powerless against. You may be trying to suppress your urges, only to be swept away again by them. For example, you may forego certain foods all day, only to find yourself binging on them at night. You may have thought you had put an end to an old pattern, only to relapse. In all these cases, remember that habits and addictions can be extremely powerful. Being self-aware enough to realize you need help is not a weakness. Strength reverse can also appear when there is a power imbalance between you and someone else. You may feel controlled or intimidated by someone. And you may also be choosing to allow someone else push you around out of fear of personal responsibility. You may not feel confident enough to make your own decisions, so you submit to the will of another. Alternatively, you may be the domineering one. Oh man, my nose is running, sorry. Oh my goodness. So you may be using your emotional reactions to avoid some situation or manipulate someone. Strength reverse can indicate stubborn pride. You may persist with some action or way of thinking even though it is not actually beneficial. You may refuse to ask for help even when it's obvious that you cannot succeed alone. So, interesting card, excuse me. I'm just going to wipe my nose. Okay, so with the Strength card, it's kind of saying like you've given into your old habits again. You've given into the old habits and your bad kind of ways of thinking as well. So what are you doing? Are you giving in to your cravings or your urges? Have you been sort of like letting someone else take the driver's seat, you know what I mean? Like you've lost that kind of you've kind of lost your kind of self, kind of like I'm trying to think of the word. And my nose is running. Hang on, I'm just gonna pause. So basically you've given in to your old habits and your old ways of thinking, and you've kind of just given in a bit. Maybe you're feeling a little bit afraid, feeling powerless, and you've given in to someone else. So what I would say is like you just need to bring yourself back. Like just remember not to be reactive, don't give in to the emotions, and like don't give in to the old habits. You're stronger than that, you know. You do have control of your life, and you're very capable as well. So so what you want to do is sort of just like, you may have relapsed, but that doesn't make you a failure. You know, like those addictions are difficult as well, and they are very powerful. So you just need to get yourself more self-aware to like, okay, so what happens that makes me want to do this thing that is you know, not very healthy for me, but I give in. What is it that makes me do it, and what can I do instead? You know, sort of distract yourself with something a bit healthier, like going for a walk in nature instead of that cigarettes, or you know, instead of having that drink, like an alcoholic drink, have like a fizzy drink, or go outside, go see a friend and have a coffee and a chat and stuff like that. But don't lose that confidence, because you were doing really well. Like, you know, you were pushing forward, you got that self-determination and that confidence. Nothing was gonna kind of like get you down. So it's just, but this is totally normal to like have a little bit of a relapse and like kind of give in to temptation. We've all been there, we all do it. So it doesn't make you a failure. You just need to bring yourself back and turn this card round, bring up that strength inside of you, that willpower, and you'll have no trouble, trust me. And you're not a failure, and you can fake confidence, fake it until you make it, mate, and then you will feel confident, trust me. It works. So just a little bit of advice there, coming like in the end of the month, just to keep you back on track. And you're not a failure just because you had a little bit of a hiccup, trust me. You know, with the tower moment there, like a big change, and you almost were there, like driving forward, and you just felt a little bit unsure. But just like, don't let other people like kind of take control or tell you what to do, and make sure you are not manipulating other people, and you got the mindset right. Okay, all right, okay. So the next card is the Six of Pentacles for you, Leo. Oh, my nose is still a bit runny. I'm so sorry. I'm so gross. Okay, so Six of Pentacles. So this is good. Things have gone back up. It's improving again. So you've worked on that strength and that self-confidence, and you're kind of getting yourself back. Because this card is all about giving and receiving and the balance between them. So it could be indicating that you show gratitude for what you have received by giving to charity or helping another with resources, paying it back, which is perfect. Showing gratitude is actually a huge thing as well if you want to keep things going at the right momentum for yourself. So it could be that if you have been giving of yourself, you will see your effort returned. Don't be too proud to accept from those that have more. What goes around comes around. Pay attention to how you use your energy and your resources. If you feel resentful or exhausted, look for ways to give in a more balanced manner. So if you're not getting what you expect in a situation, look at what you're giving. So sort of just make sure you've got that balance, that you're giving as much as you're receiving, and also you're not giving and not receiving back, you know. So in a relationship reading, this card is reminding you to pay attention to how you give and take with that person. Is your relationship fair, or is one person doing most of the taking and little of the giving? Even if we have very little in a material sense, there is always some way we can give. And that's true, like with our time, you know, like if someone's having trouble, you give them your time, and you lend them an ear and a coffee and stuff like that, you know. So you can always pay it back. Just make sure you're not taking more than you're giving, and that you're not giving more than you're receiving, and it won't come out of balance. But it's a good card. It's a good card, you know. You're getting financial freedom. It's just reminding you to stay humble and keep that gratitude flowing, and you'll have no problem. Okay, Leo. So I hope that reading was helpful for you. And next month I'll be bringing out like the first half of the month and then the second half of the month reading, so you can get like a more in-depth kind of reading through the month. So I hope that was helpful, and I hope you have a good month. Cool. Thank you for watching. Bye.